I doubt I'll have a PlayStation 4 in time to play it, but I'll definitely be watching someone play it on YouTube. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the playthroughs or at
Yeah.
least listen to it. It's like I didn't play the first one, but I was super invested in the story.
Yep.
And when I watched the second trailer, it was almost like I had the same connect with those characters as like books that I had read. Like say like this is a throwback no one's gonna remember, but I read Animorphs up until like
Nice.
the 30th book in or something like that, and seeing Ellie, I was like, it was a very familiar character, and like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't even play it. I just watched someone else play it.
Yeah, me too. I played through like I think the first third of it when actually when Tyke gifted me a PlayStation 3 that he wasn't using, but my big experience with the game is watching someone play through it on YouTube, and yeah, I mean, like you said, like it's so cool seeing Ellie grown up. Even though
Yeah,
like she looks like she hasn't had a great life in the years between, but it's still really cool to like see these characters again.
how many years ago did that come out? Was it like 2013 or something?
I don't know. I can look it up.
I think that I was still working for you guys back when it came out. It may have been 2012.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, 2013. Yep, yep. So it came out 3 years ago, and I think it takes. I think this new game takes place 9 years, or no, 6 years after the first game.
They did a good job of keeping it a secret because I had no
Yeah,
clue that they were working on something like that.
I'd heard like little hints, and I think everyone just kind of assumed because it was such a good game, and you can never leave a good thing alone. But yeah, I'd never heard any like confirmation until what Sunday or whatever it was.
I'm not going to try and jinx anything, but hopefully they don't drop the ball with the game.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you know how sequels are. It's the same thing with like with movies. They decide they're going to make a sequel, and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Because say like the first Iron Man was awesome, and
yep.
then next thing you know, you're like watching, and you're like, I guess it
Uh,
was good enough to pay $12 to see.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was. I
You kind
mean,
of
I think Naughty Dog has a good track record with sequels, though. I mean, the
that's
Uncharted
true.
games. I don't think they got worse as they went on.
And like we were talking beforehand about Crash Bandicoot, there
Yeah.
was those only got better until they came out with the racing game.
All right, let's talk about the trailer a little bit. So did you notice in that tree that they focus on in the beginning? There's like gouges taken out of it.
I did, and I didn't know what they were hinting at with that,
Yeah.
whether it was the infected, or they don't call them infected. What do they call them in this?
Um. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they do in Call 'em Infected, maybe.
Okay,
Sure.
I thought that I was like referencing The Walking Dead or something like that. Um, yeah, I didn't know if it had to do with those beasts or what, because like you watch the trailer and they're not really hinting at that. They're kind of hinting at the people that still exist, or at least that's what I gathered from it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I noticed, like to me, it looked like either. So I figured it was either claw marks, some sort of damage from like a big fight that went on there. Which I mean,
Yeah,
obviously later in the trailer there was a big fight there.
yeah.
Or it kind of looked to me. My first thought actually was like an orienteering sign. Like if you're trying to leave a mark so people know where you are, you kind of like
Oh, that's
put an
probably it.
X in a tree. So
Yeah,
which could be because then we see that we're going into a firefly camp.
yep,
So if they were trying to leave a path to their camp, that
yeah.
could
That
have just
makes
been what it
sense.
is.
I wonder where they're gonna pick up because I don't even really care. I think that it's gonna be awesome no matter what. I'm super excited about the game, and
Yeah.
if I get the chance, I think that it would be interesting to have the console have the game and try it out for myself.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because even playing, so like watching someone play The Last of Us was great, but I did notice it's a totally different experience playing it, just because there's so much more like interaction between Joel and Ellie that are different interactions that you don't get watching someone else. one of my favorite things, this little incidental reactions or interactions that I never saw in a playthrough video was there's one part where you're going through a town and Ellie starts making this like weird high-pitched breathing sound and Joel's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And Ellie goes, "I'm trying to learn to whistle." And Joel goes, "You don't know how to whistle?" She goes, "Does it sound like I know how to whistle?" And it's just like one of those great little incidental things that somehow I never saw it in any of the YouTube playthroughs, and it showed up in my game, and it was just great. It was just unexpected and funny.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, I think the last one, what was that? Like, it was something like 18 hours long.
Yeah, I think
It was,
yeah.
it
It
should
was a,
have,
it was a good length. So have you heard the theory that some people think that Joel is dead and he's a ghost appearing to Ellie?
no,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, some people are saying he might be dead, and like when she says she's gonna kill every last one of them. I mean, obviously the game is about revenge,
Yeah.
so it could be she's getting revenge on the Fireflies for killing Joel.
Oh, okay. So it's applied to this game. It's not applied to the
Oh yeah,
last
yeah,
one.
yeah. Not the first one. Yeah,
I was thinking, well, that would be kind of neat if she was imagining him so that she could make it through
the
all the
entire
trials
first game.
that she was going through.
That'd
Yeah,
be
I know.
interesting.
And there was parts where you played Joel, and so that
Yeah.
wouldn't make any sense. But it'd be interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if Joel is dead. That would be an interesting way for the second game to play out, and I think whether he's dead or not, I think they're setting him up to be like Ellie's spiritual guide. You know, she's going to be the main character that you play as, and he's going to be there like maybe holding her back, keeping her from going over the edge, or it's Joel, so maybe pushing her over the edge.
Did they? Did whoever posted that? Did they say anything about like what they saw in the trailer that led them to believe that he was a ghost?
They said, well, some of the evidence is that when he first shows up, he kind of just shows up out of nowhere in this like halo of
That's
light
true.
through the doorway, and you never actually see his face. You hear him talk, and they show him from behind, but he doesn't. Like the trailer focuses a lot on Ellie's face. I mean, part of that is just showing off the amazing new technology, but you
Yeah.
never see Joel's face, so he's kind of shadowy, I guess,
Hmm.
and it kind of looks like Ellie's in that room after killing a bunch of people, and then
Yeah.
Joel just kind of shows up. Like, well,
Yeah.
where was
That
Joel?
that yeah, that is something that I was thinking about. Is like unless he was like taking on a bunch of people elsewhere and then caught up with her.
Which is possible. I mean, that happened in the first game when Ellie was kidnapped in winter. You know, so it
Yeah.
is possible.
It's kind of funny if you think about it. It's just like, yeah, I just killed everybody that was in this house, and now I'm playing guitar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sing. I'm just gonna sing about it. This is kind of random, but I thought it was a cool little piece of sound design when she's tuning the guitar. You can
Oh yeah.
actually hear the note changing pitch as it's tailing off.
Yeah, that was actually something that I was thinking about while I was watching it, is that the sound of her hand rubbing across the strings
Yeah,
is, I mean, that's something that only people that have played guitar would think about.
yeah,
But like it was it picked up everything. It wasn't just like adding sound bits in where you thought they were appropriate. Like, well, she's gonna play a chord, so let's hit the E string or something like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the sound design and the attention to detail is great. Well, and apparently too, so Gustavo, I can't remember his last name. The guy who did the music for the last one, he's doing the music for this one too. So that's
That's good.
that's a big plus.
Yeah, because I like when companies do that. You know how it is with contract work. It's kind of
Yeah,
like you got the project done, and it's like, all right, everyone go find work elsewhere.
yeah, yeah,
Whether you like the person or not, that's just how it is.
yep,
So it's nice when they can keep continuity when
yeah.
with like having the same person involved in the next project as well.
Well, and I think too, like if Naughty Dog had changed out the cast and crew for this, I mean, Neil Druckmann Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, and Gustavo have become like their names are so attached to the game. If it was anybody else, I think people would have been pissed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I guess Neil Druckmann said at whatever PlayStation conference, whatever was this weekend, I don't remember. He was saying how like the last game was about love. So you know, like the love between Joel and Ellie, and they grew to be like a father and daughter unit.
Uh-huh.
And he says this game is the flip side, and it's all about hate and revenge.
Because she's a
So
teenager, so
right, she's 19, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I definitely get that feeling from the trailer. Then when she's like, "I'm just gonna kill everybody,"
yeah.
and
Did they actually say that she's 19?
I think I read that on Kotaku. Yeah, I don't know if
The,
Druckmann
the,
said it,
the
but
reason I'm asking is because I'm a member of DeviantArt and weird stuff happens when people are like know the exact age of a character. I'm just gonna have
mm,
to shield my eyes.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but no, so it'll be interesting if this game is. I mean, if the first game was about love and it was pretty dark and depressing, and this one's about hate, I'm really interested to see where it goes and see how deep it goes.
Yeah. Do you with games do they usually release like a secondary trailer, or is this all they're gonna give us? Do you think
Now, I'm sure there'll be a
before
few
they
more
release the
trailers
game?
between now and I think it comes out in 2018. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
I thought that well, you know how it is, like with movies or whatever, they'll release a trailer and be like coming out next month, and then
right,
they got
yeah,
some that are like hyping it for like a year and a half, and you get tired of hearing about it. I didn't realize it was coming out 2018.
yeah, yeah. I think so. That's what I read. Yeah, I mean, yeah, game trailers just they come out way early now. It's like as soon as they have something that they can render, or you know, they just put it out
Yeah,
there.
that's cool.
Yeah,
When I mean by then the system should be more affordable.
that's true. I hope so. Yeah, I kind of so you didn't get to play the game, but
Yeah,
and I'll probably get like strung up for this, but the controls in the first game I thought were a little molassesy.
yeah.
Like they were a little floaty. I know it's that kind of trying to give the character like real world weight, and you know how you can't give them inertia and like you can't stop on a dime.
Yeah.
But I've never really been a fan of that. Even though it's more realistic, it's just it feels sluggish, and I kind of hope they mitigate that somewhat in this in The Last of Us 2. You know, maybe maybe if Ellie's younger, and because Joel was like in his 40s in the first one, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
so if Ellie's younger, maybe she won't be as sluggish as Joel.
Yeah, the I'm on board with what you're saying because like I am the kind of person that likes say Halo controls like
Yeah.
Halo 1 or 2 controls where
Hmm.
it's kind of like you stop hitting the controller, it stops doing things. I
Yep.
don't need to feel like I'm actually trying to like move a person.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's I mean like I appreciate a certain level of realism, but especially in a game which in my opinion is so plot focused like The Last of Us, I don't really want to be fighting the game to get to more
Yeah.
plot. Like I want challenge in between segments of story, you know, and feelings of accomplishment, but
Hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm fighting the controls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of stop feeling like a spectator. You feel almost like a puppet master or something, and
Yeah.
that's it just doesn't work. And since everything's kind of moving towards virtual reality, they're going to have to lose that because
Well,
you shouldn't feel like you're trying to play with a doll.
yeah.
You're trying to experience it yourself.
And you know, I think you had that right too. I think it's because I mean, it's that way to try to make it feel more realistic. But I think instead of coming across like you were there, it comes across like you said, like you're controlling a doll. And
Yeah.
like when our bodies don't stop in real life, we can deal with that because we have you know spatial awareness and like we can feel inertia. But
Hmm.
you don't have that when you're playing a video game. So I think that it makes it more difficult. And to me, it feels less realistic, even though I know like objectively, not objectively, it's like on paper it's more realistic, but it feels less realistic.
Yeah, we'll have to see with the next one. The
Yeah, yeah. I don't
yeah,
think that'll be a problem with VR though, because it all responds to your. I mean, at least like with the Vive, it all responds to your body movements. So
yeah. I think that that makes more sense to like you already know what action you're about to take, whether you're
yeah,
gesturing or about to turn your head or something like that. You don't need that built in. That would just make people seasick.
yeah, yeah. You provide your own anticipation. You don't need it in the animation.
Right. Yeah.
If Joel
It's
is
funny
dead, then
how
go
much
on.
you can speculate on a game based on like a 2 minute trailer or whatever,
Yeah,
however long it was.
yeah. No, I was gonna say if Ellie or not if Ellie if Joel is dead, then that means that Ellie killed all those people in the trailer, and she's become a lot more of a badass than she was in the first one. I mean, she kind of was by the
Yeah.
end of the first game, but I don't.
Well, if that's the case, since they didn't actually show that, maybe they'll give some backstory or something that would help. I mean, that would keep it pretty interesting to have say flashbacks or something like that and
Yeah,
show what was taking place, or maybe you play through that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that would kind of suck. That would be like that would be emotionally wrenching.
The
To
trailer's actually at the end of the game.
no, it's just say if you were the character and you
Mm,
were playing a scene, but you couldn't affect what ultimately happened, so he dies
mm,
either way.
yeah,
But you're trying to to prevent that. Mess people's heads.
yep, yep. Uh, yeah, it would be interesting. I wonder. There's so many things that she could mean when she says she's gonna kill them all, or like who she's talking to, and
They killed that guy
you
in
know,
the end of the last one, right? I can't
uh,
remember what his name was. He was the one in like it was like a burning church or something like that that you were, or maybe it was a bar or something. You
yeah,
were fighting that guy. He was
yeah,
like supposed to be cool, like a couple chapters back, and then turned out to be not fine.
right, yeah, yeah. The guy, well, the guy who, yeah, would you play as Ellie for that brief period?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was wondering too though. So at the end of the first game, Joel lies to Ellie about basically the last like 20 minutes of the game. You know about who the Fireflies are and about whether or not she really was the last hope for humanity. So I'll be interested to see if that comes back in the new game, or if it has had any influence on the events of the new game.
yeah. But we need to see where it picks up because
Yeah,
I don't think it, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if the a game company would just drop you back into like this is exactly where you were, or this is like a couple of things have happened, but for the most part you're still living in the same spot. You haven't gone anywhere
yeah.
picking up.
It looks like, I mean, they didn't show the trailer any of the infected, so I, maybe if it is all the infected are gone and it's just about real people,
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
yeah, that would be interesting. Hopefully it's not. I we were talking about. I mean, it wasn't included in this part of the conversation, but earlier we were talking about sequels and
Mm,
um, I always look back at Halo 2. That was super hyped. It was like we have a special edition case, and you have to pre-order it, and
right.
everything's great with this. It has dual guns and everything, this and that. And then I saw like the new, what was it, the Covenant, like the
Yeah.
new characters that they added. I was like, what is this? They got like this 8 character that like can kill you in one punch, and it's like super fast and just creepy looking things that are in like hovering wheelchairs and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
um, I I felt like there was a complete disconnect, even though they were trying to introduce more of the enemy universe. At the same time, I was like, I probably could have done without that. I didn't really need to
Yeah.
know why they were battling the humans.
Well, I think in that regard, Halo suffered a little bit from spectacle creep. They needed something that was weirder and cooler than last time, and I think it would be
Yeah,
great if The Last of Us 2 went in reverse and made it more human and less like supernatural and zombie like.
Yeah.
It would certainly make the game darker. I mean, if The Last of Us 2 became like Manhunt with a good story, that would
Yeah,
be
that'd be
really
pretty neat.
interesting. Last of Us 2, I'm definitely gonna watch it on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll buy PlayStation 4 by then and play it.
I think that we could do like a group investment or something. It's just
Right.
that whoever has the time to play through, if
Yeah.
it's like another
Yeah.
18-hour game.
Well, if it's about time, we should just buy Matt a capture card then and get him. He'll play through the whole thing in like 2 days.
Oh, yeah, for sure.